They say he's so reckless, monkey in the casket.
Hey guys, and welcome to the King's Court. My name is Kabir Alwalia, and with me I have Kermit Alwalia and our past guest, Nishad Mysore. So, like always, we have the sneak of the week right here for you guys, and it's the Oreo 6s. Pretty old release, so we'll go over that for you guys, and then later, to go along with the shoes, we'll hit you guys with the upcoming sneaker releases that will be coming out in the new months. So, as far as NBA news goes, the hottest topic of the NBA so far has been the struggles of Derrick Rose being healthy and staying on the court. Obviously, Derrick Rose has not been able to be healthy. So, I'm just going to ask you guys, what do you think, what's the effect that Derrick Rose's injury and inability to stay on the court has for the Chicago Bulls' hope of winning a championship?
So, first off, to really determine whether the Bulls' title hopes is impacted, is the question you have to ask is, do you think that Derrick Rose's injuries will remain consistent throughout the season? And I think that throughout the entire season, I think that Derrick Rose will consistently be hammered by the injury bug. And I don't know what it is, but from what we've been seeing from the beginning of the season, since the start of the season, it's just been a roller coaster ride in terms of Derrick Rose's health. And same goes for the past 2 years. It's just maybe that's the kind of player he is now. Now, as for Chicago's title hopes, now that we've established that Derrick Rose would be injured consistently, I think it severely damages their title hopes, because Derrick Rose is the heart and soul of that Chicago Bulls team. He's their floor general, their point guard, their all-star, their superstar, their MVP. He's their attacker, their finisher, their clutch player. He's everything that a team needs to compete for a championship and even get to that level of contention. Now, I know you're a Chicago Bulls fan, so you obviously probably have more insight on this, but yeah, for me, I just think that the Chicago Bulls' their title hopes are severely damaged by what we've seen from Derrick Rose and his health since the season has started. I just think that the Chicago Bulls, they don't have much of a chance of winning the title as many of us thought when the season started.
All right. Well, Kerm, where I stand on that is basically, when the season started, we're thinking Chicago and Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals. Seeing the way Cleveland's playing, who knows what's going to happen there if they can't figure something out chemistry-wise. But if we're talking about Chicago here, Chicago has played remarkably well, and Derrick Rose has not suited up for quite some time. So, as far as just the landscape of the East goes, if you're looking at how the Pacers' injuries have depleted them, the Cavs still have to kind of get their thing together, which I'm sure they can. I'm not saying they won't. They just have to go through that first-year coach, David Blatt, and all these little kinks. I think it's clear that there's 4 teams, with or without Derrick Rose, Chicago is one of them, that is going to compete for coming out of the Eastern Conference. Those 4 teams being the Wizards, the Raptors, Chicago, and Cleveland. Now, if Derrick Rose stays healthy, with the emergence of Jimmy Butler he's playing at an all-star level right now. With the emergence of Jimmy Butler and these other weapons that are just flourishing, when Powell was out, Nikola Mirotic stepped up in the game and scored 24 and 11. I forget who they were playing, but that was the first time Nikola Mirotic got sizable minutes. The Bulls players are just, they are quality players, and they are a really deep team. So if Derrick Rose stays healthy, I see them being the team to beat in the East. And that's not just me saying that because I'm a fan of Derrick Rose. As a fan of Derrick Rose, I'll tell you guys and everybody right now how upset I am to see him sit out games. Actually, it's frustrating as a fan of the Bulls because I think, a lot of the times players can play hurt. You can't play injured, you can play hurt. And, I understand. We saw him twist his ankle. We're not disputing he tore his ACL or his meniscus, But this hamstring thing, we saw him kind of fall down, tweak it a little bit. I understand you want to take things slowly, conservatively. But, he missed 4 games for this hamstring. That's a lot. I'm saying 1 to 2, maybe, just to kind of see if it's going. But you gotta go. You gotta play. After not playing for 2 years, what that does to you is it takes your body's, it changes your body because your body's not used to the physicality of the game anymore. So I think these are growing pains that we're going to have to wait and see, and that's what I'm hoping for as a fan of Derrick Rose, that these are just growing pains and these are not things that are going to be nagging him all season long. I think if he can string together a set of 10 to 15 games where he's playing, he's healthy, even if he gets kind of one of those nagging injuries like a tight hamstring or a tight calf or a sprained ankle, things that he can play through, we'll start seeing just more confidence in his game and I'll start feeling more comfortable. But until I see that, as far as Chicago's title hopes go, I don't know. Because I think without Derrick Rose, Chicago doesn't win a title. Because he's when you say the heart and soul, Joakim Noah is the heart and soul, but Derrick Rose is is everything else. So, you got to take that into account. So I think, Chicago doesn't have the firepower without Derrick Rose to win a title.
All right, so I'm just going to go with the norm of what everyone else is saying. To directly answer my own question that I asked you guys, no, the Bulls will not eventually win the championship without Derrick Rose. Because obviously he used to be an MVP and he's such a talented guy and talented player. But I think that the Bulls could go to the championship without Derrick Rose. The Bulls this year have proved that they're an extremely stacked team. They can win without Derrick Rose. They have a high seed in the Eastern Conference. And that right there is exactly why I think they can go to the finals without Derrick Rose, is because they're in the Eastern Conference. I think by May, by June, the Cavs will be gelling. They'll be the team that everyone thought they would be. But what I think will happen is that when the playoffs roll around, I think the Cavs will fall into complete disorder. I think David Blatt will be overwhelmed by the playoffs. I think Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love will be overwhelmed by the playoffs because they don't have any experience between the three of them. So my personal belief is that the Cavs will be sent into disarray once the playoffs start. So that basically leaves the Wizards and the Raptors and the Bulls to go to the Eastern Conference Finals and or go to the championship or whatever. And those are all formidable teams that can go. The Wizards, the Raptors, and the Bulls are all really, really good teams. But I think that the Bulls could legitimately go without Derrick Rose. Jimmy Butler, like Nishad said, is playing like an all-star this year. Pau Gasol has opened up the offense so much for them. He's such a skilled passer. So to team him up alongside with Joakim Noah, who are both really good passers, really good all-around offensive and defensive players, really sound players, makes the Bulls' offense so much more of a threat and so much scarier than it was last year, to where they don't even need like Derrick Rose to create offense. Last year it was kind of like, since Derrick Rose was injured, they didn't really have any offense because they didn't have anybody like a ball handler to create it. But now they have Jimmy Butler, who's been playing really well. They have Gasol and Noah, like I said. They have Mirotic, who's really been playing well and shown people why the Chicago Bulls made a good scouting move by picking him up. He's been a really quality player. And then they got guys like Aaron Brooks, who's proving to be a really good point guard in Rose's absence. Kirk Hinrich has always been a solid option. They got Doug McDermott, Mike Dunleavy, and you can go on and on. You can list like Tony Snell or something. Taj Gibson as well, who's out with injury. So I just think that the Bulls don't really need Derrick Rose to go to the championship. I don't think they'd win the championship without Derrick Rose, but I don't think they need him. But as far as how much I think it affects their team, okay, Derrick Rose is a superstar. He's an MVP. He's a completely talented player, but just the fact I just don't see him staying healthy for the whole season. For people that kind of watch Derrick Rose a lot, I've pointed it out with Kerman, with Nishad, with other people. Derrick Rose, whenever he plays, he's not graceful on his feet at all. He's not light on his feet at all. He actually pounds whenever he runs. So I think that could be a huge factor to why his ankles and his knees are so weak, because they take such a beating from the amount of force that he puts into the ground whenever he stomps or runs or whatever. So I just don't see Derrick Rose being healthy. I can see him playing like 45 games this whole season probably. But as much as it affects the team, with the loss of Derrick Rose, you lose a playmaker, you lose a shooter, you lose a slasher, you lose athleticism on the wing. You just lose a lot of stuff with Derrick Rose. But like I said, I really think that the Tom Thibodeau's defensive system is good enough to hold while Derrick Rose is gone to get the Chicago Bulls some wins and to propel them into playoffs. And I think that since their offense has such a huge upgrade this past year, that they really don't need Derrick Rose to go to the playoffs and even to go to the finals. But as I said, I don't think they can win without Derrick Rose. I don't think they can win the championship. Alright, so as you might notice, our NBA analyst Nishad Mysore he's not here right now because we are in the part of the show he is not as good at, which is the sneaker part of the show. So I'll kind of some of the releases to kind of look out for. A pretty big kind of announcement that was made this past week that got sneakerheads pretty excited was some leaked pictures of a metallic gold foam posit, and it's something that looks really, really, really nice. If you've seen the copper foams, they have like that shiny finish or whatever. So these ones are probably like the exact same kind of finish as that, except it's gold. The bottoms are completely icy blue, just like all foams, except for some reason all the shoes that have been releasing recently with clear soles have been like extra bluer. One example would be the Legend Blue 11s, which have a really blue, almost blue looking bottom, even as an icy sole. So those are scheduled to come out on March 14th, and there hasn't been a price set out for them, but it's probably going to be like $230 because that's the normal price for a Foamposite 1. Another thing that got announced or pictures were leaked, was Jordan has been trying to do a lot of, high-end type, really fashionable type of Jordans, like the shines, or like the premium futures. And now they've come out with a quilted leather retro 2. Now it's like an all purple colorway, and it looks like a completely high-end type retro that Jordan's trying to do. My guess is that they're going to retail for like $300, something really absurd. The leather is completely quilted. It has suede on the tongue, and it's just like a really nice quality-wise shoe, even though it'll probably be pretty expensive. Those don't have a release date, but it's going to be next year in 2015. So those are two shoes to kind of look out for. This month of December is going to be an extremely crazy one, and just the year of 2015 itself is also going to be filled with shoes. The remastered collection is dropping, and February, as always, you have like the Black History Month shoes. So those are just kind of what to look out for. So hopefully you guys can pick them up. I know I'm going to get my fair share of those shoes, so hopefully you guys can too. Alright guys, so now we have our weekly sneak of the week. This week it's the Oreo Retro 6s, and these are an extremely underrated shoe. Probably like the most, mainstream kind of noticed Oreo colorway of a shoe would be the Oreo 5s, because they were recent, and there's been a lot more sneakerheads recently than there has been in the past, like when these released. So either these or either the Oreo 5s or like the Oreo 4s. Oreo 4s meaning the OG Oreo 4s and the Fear 4s, which are two separate shoes, are both pretty well known. But I think these are the least well known out of all the Oreo colorways. But despite that, I think these are the best out of all of them. I'll just kind of review the shoes for you guys. It's a normal 6, right? It's a normal retro 6 right here. Oreo colorway means the color of an Oreo, which is white and black. So I'll just kind of go over the shoe for you guys. Starting right here, the shoe separated into little sections of material, and the white section is all premium leather. This is before Jordan started becoming a little more like decisive on what materials they use. So these came out, I think, in 2006. so the material is a lot better actually than the recent releases. So they have premium white leather going around the whole shoe. You have the air bubble right here at the top. The black parts is nubuck, and just standard nubuck right there. I wouldn't really know what premium nubuck feels like or whatever. The midsole is black and it's speckled white to give like that Oreo flavor. Going on to the front of the shoe, the toe box is nubuck as well. Going up the shoe, it came with white laces. It might have. I'm pretty sure that's the only laces it came with. I didn't get these like when they officially released or whatever. So these ones have white laces. Right here in the middle, you have a little jump man that kind of separates the laces and acts like as the tongue. You have right here is a little thing that goes between the laces that you can use to tighten the shoe. Tongue is the normal tongue. This just says Jordan on it. A little separated Retro 6 tongue. Going to the other side of the shoe, you have it's the exact same as the front side of the shoe, where there's nubuck right here, and then you have the premium white leather. Right here you also have that same black and speckled white, and then right here you have the air bubble that's with all the 6s as well. If you go to the back has the Jordan Air, not Nike Air. So Jordan Air, they're not that old to where they'd say Nike Air, and that's in black. And then right here, the heel tab is this. I actually really like this heel tab because it's not flimsy like the Retro 4 heel tab or like the ones in the 3s, which are kind of susceptible to like yellowing, or they're just kind of like weak plastic. And I like this one because it's really easy to kind of use as support whenever you're trying to fit your shoes in this. And this right here, it's the same as the midsole where it's black and speckled white. Now I'll just go to the sole. The sole is yellow because, like I said, they are a pretty old shoe. So the sole is yellow. It's a little dirty because I have worn them a little bit. You have the Jordan logo right here, and then you have the various holes, which I'm sure were originally meant to enhance the grip on the shoe, as they were first used for basketball shoes primarily. So that's that. You see the sole is a little yellow, but I actually kind of like the yellow soles. I think it's a pretty good offset from the white, from the pure white on the whole shoe. As a whole, I really like the shoe a lot. I like all Retro 6s actually. I'm planning to get the black infrared 6s that released this Black Friday for you guys to show you. It's a really nice shoe, and I really think that everyone should own a pair. More people should be informed about these shoes, and yeah, dope pair of shoes.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our videos on YouTube and follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, guys, like we always say, please be sure to join us in next week on our video. That Twitter handle, by the way, is @KingsCT Show, so court abbreviated is CT. So be sure to follow us on Twitter and subscribe to our videos, and please join us next week. And thanks for joining us this week.
You can't take me anywhere. Will I ever learn my lesson? Try hard not to get arrested. Guess I didn't get the message. F it, I don't really care.
So much in my head, oh.
I will let them know.
It's so hard not to let go.
I'm about to dope.